Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, hello, welcome to this amazing SalesHood Live webinar that we're doing with Dave Appel from Sage Intacct. So lucky to have someone like Dave here with us to share his knowledge, his experience. Dave, why don't you say hello and let's get going.
Good morning, everyone.
So Dave, I think it would be great for you to take a couple minutes and just give people a little bit of perspective. You're a seasoned veteran, and I mean that in a positive way here in the Silicon Valley SaaS startup business. Tell us a little bit about yourself so people can get to know you a little bit. It'd be great to hear your story.
I've got this very fortunate position here at Sage Intacct of leading our software business. Right now, we're in a great spot. We're the number one provider of B2B subscription billing and financial management solutions. And we really know who our target market is, what they're hoping to solve, pains and fears. And we're constantly trying to have the sales team be on message and consistent with connecting with people on an emotional level on that. And SalesHood helps us do that. Business is booming. It's a great big team. We're owned by the largest company on the London Stock Exchange, and that gives us a lot of capital to invest.
And so your background, NetSuite, Build.com, you've been doing this for a long time. Maybe how long have you been managing teams and in the sales world? Maybe just give folks a little bit of perspective on your deep experience.
16 years.
16 years, and we've known each other for a long time. So appreciate your support.
We're having a good time, aren't we?
We always are. One of the reasons why we wanted you to speak and wanted you to share your story with everyone is when we look across the entire population of sales leaders, the entire population of heads of sales, frontline sales managers, VPs of sales, we look for shining stars. Who are the leaders that are engaging in coaching and developing their teams and that kind of activity on a consistent, ongoing basis? And you always rise to the top. You're always making your teams better, helping your teams improve their win rates, getting your teams to club, and you've got a philosophy for what it means to do sales coaching. And I think you shared with me a few words, but you've got 3 guiding principles. I thought maybe you could share with the team a little bit of color around these 3 great guiding principles that helps you and your team be successful.
Yeah, thank you. When Eli and I were prepping for this, we just wanted to be really specific so you guys could have some takeaways. And each of these has a story behind it. But the main premise I want to say, we were all reps at some point earlier in our career. When someone pushed training down on us, it's just kind of like, okay, God, I got some more training. And that's just not where it goes. How it really happens is your top players push the envelope, find new ways of doing things, and then others follow. And so you're trying to take the best of what everybody has and then have everybody leverage that in order to get better. Second thing you're always trying to do is, instead of letting people constantly go off message or off task, if you put the work in to understand who your customers are, get consistency on messaging. And Eli and I are going to do a little bit of a mock demo of the product so you can see how you do that. But what I love most about it is we can get everybody, giving them space within their strengths and their individual style, but be consistent in what we know works. So everyone's saying the same thing. And the third thing is people learn from each other, peers. The difference on saying, hey, I got some training enablement that I want you to do, and just how all your reps roll their eyes. I mean, like, oh, God, the more of this, versus we captured our top rep from the last 3 years, the top 3 things that makes her number one year after year after year, and wrote it down. Would you like to learn from that? And, of course, everyone's just like, they can't wait to get into that. So that's the premise and the quick story behind each of the 3 points.
And what's amazing about what you've done, a lot of sales leaders will wait for enablement professionals to create content for them, to create coaching huddles for them, to create learning paths for them. A lot of enablement folks will just kind of wing it a little bit. A lot of sales leaders will wing it. What I love about what you've done at Sage Intacct is you've created your own curriculum for your vertical, and you've been rolling out to your teams week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, and it's made them all successful. So, what motivated you, right, to kind of grab it from the very beginning and say, I'm going to own this part of the enablement. I'm going to partner with the enablement team, but I'm going to build my content. I'm going to build my plays. What was that guiding principle way back when? Like, what sparked it? I'm so curious.
It was a funny conversation at club talking to one of our top reps on, what made you better? And the answer wasn't, a bunch of training. The answer was sitting down with the other folks that are top notch and learning from each other. And I thought, well, why don't we just do more of that? So I think, Eli, loving the product, I think we're in our 12th or 13th quarter of consistently rolling out messaging via SalesHood. And you see it, and what the title of this thing is, this webinar is all about how you increase win rates, right? Because we got the 5 dials we're trying to manage: number of leads, opportunities, ASP, time to close, and conversion rates.
Yeah.
We've seen a lift in conversion rates. There's multiple factors to it on putting out a great product and focused on customer satisfaction, but certainly consistency in message and everybody getting better from each other is part of that.
We should show everyone a little bit of what you're doing. And so we've taken one of your huddles and we've turned it into a demo, because obviously what you've created is really special and unique, and you don't want to share your info. So we're ready to kind of dive in. You want to kind of walk us through how you run a huddle and what a huddle looks like for your
Let's
team?
do it.
Let's do it.
Folks, I tried to just give you a little bit of the day in the life of. I think Eli's going to leave some time at the end for questions as to applying it to each of you. But here's what we do. Ryan, just getting into the huddle there.
So let's give everyone a little perspective here. So this is what SalesHood looks like for Sage Intacct. You've got the branding at the top. You've got last viewed. You've got my hood, this is a regular coaching huddle. We've got some pinned items, which are some things that are important to me, so I can find things, search, all that goodness. But we're going to focus right now on how do you help teams boost win rates by doing collaborative team-based coaching. And we've got a sales coaching huddle here. So you want to guide me? Should I click in? You've even got some videos of your top performers. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. So I'm gonna click into your coaching huddle.
I'm gonna let you, like, the product's comprehensive, and that portal allows you to find other things. But my point was I wanted to show everybody. And do you want me to guide them as the power user through the product?
Yeah, I would love. I think we'd all love to hear from you, right? How important are the modules? Walk us through what the collaboration means to you. How do you use this? Give us a little tour.
Yeah. We try to be real clear with what the goal is up front so everybody can see it. And again, not in a bunch of, salesy terms, but in a lot of what's in it for you terms. And you can see across the top here, you create different, the tabs allow you to be very specific around different messaging. Can you scroll down to see the participants? And you roll this out to all your team, and you can see who's putting in answers and the engagement, and everybody can learn a little bit from them. Do you mind going to the first tab, the February Focus?
Absolutely. So February Focus is a coaching video, instructional video, right? Where you basically, this is what we got. This is where we're putting our energy. This is what's important.
And if you want to, it's fantastic how you can put multiple types of assets and ways of engaging people, because starting with the video is great. I don't know if you just want to play it for 10 seconds so everybody can see, Eli, just how the platform itself allows you to do it.
I'm Eli Cohen. I'm the CEO. Right. So here's a best practice video, right? So this sales coaching huddle is all about focus on improving compelling events, doing some collaborative deal coaching, and then also practicing your pitch. And you've got a video from one of your leaders. You've got a video from the library, which is great, which, by the way, have you seen this? You can fast forward the voices, which is great. So you can move through content faster, and then you can also see the transcript so you can find things. It's really cool from a manager perspective, rep perspective. So you've got a couple coaching videos to kick off, right? And what happens when you start the huddle with the team, right? You know who's watched it, who hasn't watched it, which is great.
Well, that's back to the overview. You can track engagement and you can see what's going on. And what's really great about this is it self-critiques. So no one wants to be the duffer who hasn't put the work in, because ultimately the energy behind the team is everyone's trying to help each other out. And if you're not pulling your weight to make the team better, that gets self-selected out.
So let's take a moment there. That's fascinating. So when you run these huddles, right, you're looking at the performance. You're looking at their activity. You're looking at activity. Give me an example. Like, what happens when you run a huddle and you see someone on the bottom of the list a couple of times, they're not doing the work, they're not doing it fast enough. What kind of conversation do you have with them?
Well, it's in a broader context because SalesHood is a tool to make the number. So the conversation's really around what's going on and how are you personally investing in owning you making the number. And then that leads into, if we're creating tools to make you successful, why aren't you using them? And because different people learn different ways, by the way. But it's an opt out. You got to ask to opt out. It's not an opt in.
Got it. I love it. Right? Why aren't you using it? Don't you see value? And so good. Couple coaching videos. Now it kind of gets interesting on the deal reviews, right? You want to go there next?
Yeah, this is where everything comes together for everybody. So I don't know about all of you as you're thinking about this, but so much training is like figurative and theoretical, and it's helpful, but it doesn't apply to the business. It's so hard to make it hand to mouth. So what we do is, like on this deal review, you might, like you got the very top, you see what we have in the thing, pick a deal, answer the deal questions, everybody share a deal, and then we score. So you can see the questions that are there, and then you can see Michael's answers. Here's my deal, Sprout Social, here's a compelling event, here's my outcome. And people can learn a little bit about what's everybody else looking for in the deal. So would you scroll on down? So there's Michael's. Here's Tony's. Same thing. He's identified a compelling event. What's the do nothing outcome? Everybody reads through these, because the other power of SalesHood is people do the work ahead of time so that the discussion amongst everybody isn't learning, it's applying. And that's very important, because that's everyone talks about how they've already applied it or how they're going to apply it, and everybody learns from each other. I was at this conference years ago, Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton said, he was speaking, he said, if you took the smartest person of all time and put him in a room and asked them to answer a question, if you just took 50 great normal Americans and put them in another room and asked them to answer a question, he'd take the answer from the group of 50 every time, because it's run the gauntlet to get refined, to be this, as poignant and clear as possible. And that's the point of how everybody contributes to one another and helping each other out.
Yeah, so you've got a team here that's collaborating around kind of that key sales process topic of compelling events in the month of February, so you can boost win rates, boost up productivity, get everybody hitting their number, and they're learning from each other. Look at the collaboration, super strong. Amy, I love how you have a clear and compelling event like Auto Show. It's great, right? And so what are these conversations like, right? You bring your team together, they've done the pre-work, and you're sitting on a Zoom call like this, or you're in person at a QBR. Tell me a little bit about, like, how do those conversations go for you and your team? What are they like?
Well, what's important is we put the time in to build the culture. This is part of the overall culture building, and everybody being real clear on what success looks like, understanding, feeling appropriate, rewarded for delivering that success, and then trying to help each other out, knowing that there's always a healthy competition between reps. Everybody wants the great reps. Each of them wants to be the best.
Yeah.
If they all feel like they're going to make more money and deliver on the number, because everybody raises the bar on making everybody more successful. When you insert SalesHood into that kind of team culture, then this is the ability to act on that culture to get things going. So,
great.
Yeah.
I love it. And last piece here, on the demo. And so, you've done pre-work, you've instituted a culture where you're sharing your best practices. You're being clear on expectations of what's important, how you're going to drive the business, how you're going to get everybody how you're going to up-level everyone. And now you're creating a culture where they're sharing knowledge. You're doing some deal coaching, collaborative deal coaching. They're even scoring each other. I love that. I wish more managers were doing more of this. And that's why you're on the call with me, because you're doing a lot of it. And then,
Can I say one thing on that before you roll?
Absolutely.
Right. The best of the best, like of sports, what do? They watch tape. Right. Tom Brady's famous, and other great things, other great athletes, male and female. But just using Tom Brady, Tom Brady spends an immense amount of time watching tape. This allows you and your team to watch the tape.
Absolutely. We have a lot of customers that are using this to not only upload like a practice pitch, but you can also upload live calls and live demos, and then you can watch and score each other as well. Great, great use case for this, right? And then you can search, you can find, managers can search for keywords, right? You can get demos, you can figure out what are your teams saying and not saying on their live calls. And that way you can watch their sales call tapes. It's great. I love it. All right, some coaching videos, collaborative deal coaching. And then now we're gonna do a little practice, right? You mentioned one of the key elements of driving a coaching culture is getting folks to be consistently on message. And so what do we have here? We got Tony recording a pitch, and we've got some collaboration going on.
People weighing in. You don't want a culture of fear of looking like making mistakes. You want a culture of taking risks and making experiments and doing that as a team ahead of time and getting some feedback. Because if you mostly trust your peers, you'll take the feedback from them in order to make yourself better. And it's a great way of applying, making all this real instead of theoretical. We rolled out training. We've had people apply it to a deal and then practice what you're going to do ahead of time.
And we could have another module here, which would be then upload a real call. This is great. You know what? We really appreciate you taking a few minutes showing us how you use a huddle inside of your team and how you use it in the cadence of how you develop your team, how you drive a coaching culture, and how you help your team sell better and sell more, and ultimately everyone hitting quota and boosting win rates. As that's really what this is about.
We know it with product marketing, what the message is. We work with sales ops and what the core metrics are that we're tracking against the business. And you can see, again, the lift in win rates as a function of this and several other things.
How often are you doing huddles? Just, if I'm a new manager, maybe let's kind of wind down with this. If I'm a new manager, how often should I be running huddles? What advice would you give a manager, frontline manager who hasn't really engaged in coaching huddles? What's some last tips?
Yeah, we do major training once a quarter. Just it takes time for things to become a habit. And then usually one huddle to help reinforce a month to get going on. And then sometimes use the tool on a much more iterative tactical basis, but that's master sales enablement plan is that.
I love it. Quarterly, thematic, aligned with the company go-to-market kind of training, and then monthly coaching reinforcement. That's why we called this the February Sales Coaching Huddle, because you're reinforcing some of the key messages that are being communicated. It's fabulous. If folks want to reach you, how do they reach you?
david.appel@sage.com.
And you're on LinkedIn, of course. And I'm going to move back in. And listen, if anyone is interested, I know we've got a lot of customers on the call. We also have a lot of folks that are new to the SalesHood community, new to our sales enablement community. We do have, if you want to run a coaching huddle, you can run a sales coaching huddle. You can pick a topic. We'll help you run it. You can run it with your team. You can have that same collaboration, that same coaching, the same outcomes that David talked about. You can have it in real time. Pick a topic and we'll get you going with your team, whether you want to do call reviews, whether you want to do skills training, whether you want to do messaging certification. So please submit a trial and we'll get you going with a trial so you can run your own sales coaching trial immediately. Anything you want to add?
This, as you can see how the tool applies, allows you to raise the bar on everybody because you're clear and you're consistent upon what you want. And then you get everyone aligned on the same messaging and refined and learning from each other. And then again, instead of it being theoretical, everyone's learning how the best do it and how each of them does it based upon their strengths. And then that's what really builds retention. Because at the end of the day, all this is simply about habit. Are the reps learning the new habits to be even better?
Yes. David, super grateful to you and everyone listening in, spending time with us, educating us, getting us excited about how do we infuse sales coaching huddles into how we run our teams and develop our people. I know there are a lot of enablement people on the call, so it's good for them to connect with a leader like you because they ultimately need to serve them and help them with these same kind of tools. And you're proof. You love it. It works. It's driving outcomes. You're creating great sellers, and Sage is making a lot of money. So so you're making money.
We're making some money, baby.
And we're making some money, baby. Everybody, thank you very much